Hey, it's Zaynab. I'm an associate food editor here at Bon Appetit. Today I'm in the test kitchen making preserved lemon tea cake. It's so simple to make and it's delicious any time of day. It feels pretty full circle that I'm making a video about this recipe. It was actually a part of my job application to work here. I had to pitch ideas for recipes and this was one of them. There are lots of lemon cake recipes out there, but I wanted to try something a little different. The first thing to do is to prep the preserved lemon. By the way, using a scale when you're baking is so important, it's just so much more accurate. So I weighed out about 55 grams. That's usually about one small preserved lemon. They're often used in Moroccan cuisine because they're quite salty and usually used in savory preparations. Don't worry, the cake won't be salty per se, but it won't be overwhelmingly sweet either. I'm just removing the seeds from the lemon to avoid any bitterness, but the rest of the lemon you can use, even the peel. You can do this in a food processor or spice mill, but using a mortar and pestle is pretty cathartic, so I highly recommend. You don't typically find turmeric in desserts because it's pretty earthy and assertive. We're not using too much, and that earthiness is really going to complement the sour preserved lemons. And it's going to give us this bright lemony yellow color when you cut into it, which is going to be really visually striking. This recipe uses a whole cup of sugar. That might seem like a lot, but we need it to balance all the sourness from the lemon. I really love baking with olive oil because of the flavor it brings out, but you can definitely use melted butter or another oil if you prefer.
I don't know what that red streak
One of the advantages of using olive oil as opposed to butter is that it's not solid at room temperature, so your cake will stay moist on the counter for days. This cake uses sour cream instead of milk. It'll add moisture without thinning out the batter too much. In a pinch, you can definitely use full-fat Greek or plain yogurt, or even buttermilk instead. The acid helps make this cake so tender. There's a lot of lemon in this recipe, and each type brings something different. The oils and the zest bring brightness, the juice gives that classic lemon flavor, and the preserved lemon paste is going to bring that funkiness. All three together add so much depth to the finished cake. Now we're going to introduce the dry ingredients and mix gently until they're just combined. I'm going for a mostly smooth batter. A few lumps are totally okay, and I can see a few small bits of that preserved lemon paste as well. At this point, you'll really be able to smell all of that lemony flavor. Once it's ready, I'm going to put it on a wire rack to hang out for a little, just until it becomes cool enough to handle. Then I'll take it out of the pan to finish cooling. This is the moment of truth. All of that work we did to grease the pan and line it with parchment comes in handy now so that we don't have any difficulty removing the cake from the pan. I always need tea or coffee when I have something sweet, so I'm going to start on a pot of chai to serve with the cake. This isn't a traditional masala chai, it's called karak chai, which translates to strong tea from Hindi. I grew up seeing my mom make it, and so it's super nostalgic for me. The vanilla isn't typical, but it perfumes the kitchen and makes everything smell great, so I love to use it. Now I'm adding evaporated milk, which is basically concentrated milk, so it makes the tea super creamy and rich. This is going to simmer for a while, so I'm going to keep an eye on it so it doesn't boil over. This is going to go so well with that sour cake. So while the tea simmers and the cake cools, I'm going to make a super simple glaze. Just some powdered sugar and milk. You definitely want to make sure you do this when the cake is cooled so that your icing doesn't melt and thin out, and this way you'll be left with an opaque blanket instead of a glazed sheen. Just look at how gorgeous this cake is. The glaze is thick but still pourable, and it just looks perfect. It's going to look even more amazing when we cut into it thanks to that turmeric. The last step is a little sprinkle of flaky salt just to really bring home that preserved lemon flavor. Then we're going to let the glaze set for a little, and that's it. Everything is ready, so I'm going to slice into it and pour some chai. I can't wait to try this. Just look at that bright yellow interior, and the crumb looks perfect. You would never know that there was turmeric in this cake based on the taste, but the color it's giving is so bright and gorgeous.
It's preserved lemon.
Oh.
In the test kitchen, we usually bring our finished dishes up to this marble bench. We take pictures of whatever we've made and gather around to taste and talk about flavors, and also ask for suggestions if we're in the development phase of a recipe. Rachel was in the test kitchen today, so I asked her to come and try the cake, and she really loved it, which was so nice. These recipes are super special to me, and they're both flavorful and pretty easy to make, so I hope you try them, and thanks for watching.